a couple of days ago, I feel something has changed. I have understood something, and somehow things have gotten more light. Somehow. But I have had feelings like that before, that I thought, oh wow, I understood something, and then after time, just somehow old patterns come back, and then it's not, seems to be not there anymore. And regarding this, maybe I'd like to ask, is there something like a test how we can see if it was a real understanding, or if maybe just some understanding, but then only memory, and the ego just says, oh, that was such a nice understanding. Don't know. My question is not so clear, but maybe is there a test for that?
Is there
a test? Like, can you
test
if the understanding is real, or if it's just fleeting and just an imagination?
Actually, the understanding is very simple. The understanding is not very supreme. It is not very strange. It is not. It is a very common. It is easy. But the liberation is different. But when we understand in a simple way that we have no duty psychologically, all our psychological structure flows naturally. So the free flowing of psychological structure alone just important. So for that, the understanding helps. So it is only helping. It is only a helping agent. Understanding, enlightenment, everything is a helping agent. But the reality is only the liberation. So when we understand we have no duty in the psychological world, the psychological world functions on its own. So that is the main thing. So there, many kind of feeling may come, many kind of emotion may come, whatever may be, but it must be in the flowing state. For that, our understanding says us that we have no duty there. We have no duty to interfere with the emotions. We have no duty to interfere with the natural flow of our feelings. The matter is over. So, what else next we are having? We have to do our natural, normal, day-to-day life. We can live the day-to-day life. But psychologically, we have no self-structure. We have no self-contradiction. There is no self-struggle. Because when we want to catch hold of something, when we want to retain something, or when we try to remove something, then only the total psychological structure becomes a battlefield. Otherwise, whatever happens, something is happening. Even though something is happening in the psychological world, it comes and goes naturally. So that is all. But we need not expect more understanding in this regard. So the understanding is very simple. So the main understanding that we have no duty. So the finding that we have no duty is the understanding, is the realization, is the enlightenment. Everything is simple. But the liberation is not simple. Liberation is a natural thing, but we need not examine in the words of simple or complicated, but it is natural. The liberation is natural. And we have no hand to have liberation in this way or that way. It is natural, it is not in our hand. Liberation is not in our hand. It is natural. But what we are having in our hand is only the understanding. Is there any work for us to interfere with the natural flow of our psychological consciousness or not? That alone is the deciding factor. If we understand we have no business there, matter is over.
I think how I understand things is there is an intellectual understanding, and it can be there, but there can be some conflict with it. Like, let's say emotionally, it's not really understood. Something is there that works against it.
But you may have your habit pattern. Your habit pattern may interfere. Even though you understand that you have no work psychologically, when you have some fear or sorrow, naturally we will have the impulse, we have the instigation, we have the some urge to be free from the fear, free from the sorrow. Then we need not worry about that. So it comes naturally. But we should not do, consciously we should not have any work. So if you avoid conscious work in the psychological world, that is enough. If you may unconsciously struggle within yourself, but doesn't matter. But with the very moment you understand you are unnecessarily struggling within yourself, then the next moment you may be free from your struggle. And then you may be free from your conscious fight. That's all.
And when you say liberation, is that like as if purification that goes by itself?
No, purification goes by itself. We need not purify anything. Purification is a natural thing.
Yes.
Everything will be purified naturally.
And that is what you call liberation.
Liberation is the flowing is known as liberation. Not interrupting is the liberation, because you are not binding anything. So if you do not bind anything, if you do not catch hold of anything, everything flows. The natural flow of our mind, natural flow of our consciousness is liberation. Everything is purely psychological. There is nothing more than that. But in the case of the real self, real consciousness, there is no conflict in the real consciousness. There is no conflict in the real self. It is free from everything. But all problem is only psychological. So in the psychological world, what we have to do, we have nothing to do. So when we understand we have nothing to do in the psychological world, the psychological structure, the psychological feeling, psychological emotion gets in a flow. So the natural flow of the psychological feeling itself is enough.
So, Sri Mangalat, we need to make effort for get enlightenment, but we cannot make effort for get liberation.
No liberation.
But for enlightenment, we need to make efforts.
Up to the level of understanding, up to the level of enlightenment.
Yes, for understanding.
Do something. Doing something means not doing any meditation, but inquire what is happening, what is the nature of the effort, what is the nature of our intention. Everything you have to examine, everything you have to inquire. By inquiry and our experience, we can make use of our experience and everything we discuss within ourselves or with anybody else. And we come to a conclusion or come to an understanding that we have no work. So to that level, we have to work. And working alone will give you the correct understanding. And when you get the correct understanding, our work is over. But we have nothing to do with the liberation. Liberation is natural. If you have any work in the liberation, then each and every work will disturb the liberation.
Mm-hmm.
He speaks of something he calls choiceless awareness, which is also not really a meditation. I find it's a bit similar to when you say just there's no interference. Do you see a similarity between these? Like to be aware but not focus, not meditate on something, just let it completely be open, the awareness. That's how I understood Krishna. Is that similar to what you are saying?
But here, the choice is related to our intellect. The choice is not related to consciousness. Our consciousness is always innocent to casual of anything, flow with anything. Innocence is like that. But our intellect alone chooses. Our intellect alone demands this I want, this I don't want. So the matter is purely in the level of intellect. But it looks, with regard when we understand what is saying J. Krishnamurti in the name of choiceful awareness, we think that it is something beyond the intellect. But it looks like that, but it is not like that. But if we actually, when we, awareness is there, we need not bring awareness. Awareness is always there. Awareness is always within our consciousness. Awareness is always with the psychological structure. But the real problem is only the choice. The choice is belong to the intellect part, not to the emotional part. Emotion is related to the awareness, consciousness, everything is related to emotions. But the choiceless awareness is not related to the emotional part. It looks like that. It is related to emotional part. But actually, it is related to the intellectual part. The intellectual part alone is choice, have the choice. This I want, this I don't want. So if you do not have any choice in the intellectual level, with related to the psychological world, so if it is in the physical world, you can choose which place you have to go, which food you have to take. That you may have a choice. But we have no choice. We should not have any choice related to the psychological flowing of our feelings and emotions.
Yeah, I think I understand that choicelessness considering the intellect. I don't really understand the choice considering the actions, because if you choose an action, you need also thoughts, because in order to have an action, there needs to be a thought. So if you choose where to go, it's also like choosing a thought instead of another thought. That's how I understand the action.
So making use of thought is something different. The correcting a thought is different. So here we are correcting the psychological structure. This must be like this must not be, I must have sorrow, I should not have fear, I will always be happy. That is, we are correcting the emotional part. Making use of the emotional part is different. You can make use of the emotional part, but you should not correct the emotional part. That is different. You can, for example, you are interested, you have some interest or some pleasure or some happiness if you do some work. So for that, you can make use of the happiness or interest to do the work. So you can make use of a mind, make use of a psychological structure related to the work. But we should not do anything to correct the psychological structure. We may use our mind to the world, but we should not use our mind against the mind. That is different. Using the mind in favor of the world or against our duty, that is using our mind in the duty. But here, using the mind against the mind is not necessary.
So for example, like this morning, I had the thought, I could come to the satsang, and I just follow the thought. I don't say, oh, that's not a good thought, I should not have it. But I just choose to follow it. And maybe I could have chosen to say, oh, well, I have this thought, but still I want to sit at home.
But our intellect, our psychology, our mind will have many choices. It may say, I will go to mountain, or go to satsang, or go to temple, or have to go to some other chatting. Our mind may suggest many things, but you have to choose. For that, you have to use our intellect to choose one of those things for the external use. For externally, what you have to do, that you have to choose one among the choices. But here, we should not control, these options should not come, this thought will not come like this choice will not come like this. We should not deal with the mind. We should not correct the mind. This must function in this way. This should not, it should not propose anything like this. We should not do it like this. Whatever you do, you have to give total freedom to the mind for itself. And we can make use of the thing necessary to the external world. And our mind may create many choices. It may suggest you to go to mountain, or it may suggest you to go to temple. So it gives you many choices. But we should not compel it. You should not give any choice. You must be always calm. We should not give such order to the mind. If necessary, we can make use of the choices, and we can select one of the choices, and we can apply it to the world, apply to our day-to-day actions. Anything in the external, because psychologically you are okay. You are not expecting. You are for psychological satisfaction. You are not doing anything. So the main thing is that. So you have to do something for the betterment of your family or society.
Yeah.
So if you have the inclination like this, then only have the urge to do something, not only for your happiness. Not so the ordinary people will do something in the external world for their own happiness.
Yeah.
But when you are ready to accept both sorrow and suffering very easily, then you will not be very eager to earn many things. You will not have the more energy to have go to the higher place, so acquire many things. But in that period, you will have some intention for in social work also. Then only your interest must be in a way that because it is not for your psychological satisfaction, but it is right. It is the correct thing that whatever you work, it will be beneficial for yourself and to the family or the society. Then only your some different approach will be there. Then only you can have some work. Otherwise you will not be, because you are not interested upon anything. That doesn't mean because you are not expecting any happiness from your work. Because you don't mind happiness or sorrow. Then you can have some retirement from the world. So it is also possible. But for that, you have to have some work. You have to find some work there. It may be beneficial for you and your family and to the society also. Then only it will be. Then you will do something for the betterment of everybody, not for your psychological satisfaction.
Mm-hmm. But in any case, you need to always to live according to your psychologist's world. Don't fight with. If you have stillness and inside don't hear intellect that you have to do something. Okay, you don't do anything. Just if you have psychological level like this world, it's like stillness and just presence. Just don't interfere.
So psychologically there is no struggle. If you do not expect anything, this I want, this I don't want, there is no psychological struggle. But at the same time, you have to do something in the world. Otherwise you cannot survive, you cannot maintain your body. So everything you have to work for the. You have to invest some interest upon the work.
Mm. In Yoga Vasishtha, there is some words about after enlightenment you can back to the daily life and do what you have to do, like social role. If you're king, you have to lead in country. If you're warrior, you have to worry. If you're warrior, soldier, you have to kill somebody if it is your role. So it's like this. So you don't.
So externally you have to take a role. You have to take a which is suitable. You can think which role is good for you and the society. Then you can make your intellect. You become an intelligent person and you can think and you can come to a wise decision and take a wise role, some good role.
And ты хотела спросить про карма-йогу, да, про служение? She wanted, yesterday she asked me, what is karma yoga? What is serving? It's also serving with different name. What is karma yoga?
Karma yoga means a good thing you have to do, but at the same time you have the psychological reaction. Whatever you do, you will have a psychological reaction. And if you disregard the psychological reaction and do the work alone, that is karma yoga.
So you have psychological reactions.
So psychological reaction is maybe in the form of pressure, pain, sorrow, everything is psychological reaction.
During the work.
During the work.
But you don't interfere to psychological reaction.
But you do not give way to the. You should not look upon the emotional part. You have to look upon the action part.
Шри Бхагават говорит, что карма-йога – это когда ты действуешь, но и во время действия у тебя возникают какие-то психологические реакции, чувства разные самые, но ты не обращаешь на них внимания, позволяешь им быть и продолжаешь делать действия. How it connects with word karma? Karma.
Karma means
it is
action.
Past.
Karma means not that karma.
This is karma action.
Karma means action.
Not with past life.
Not past life.
Action, yoga union, yeah?
Action. Yoga means so one with work. Karma yoga. You have to be one with the work. Yoga means association, some joining.
With work.
Joining with work.
But Shri Bhagavat говорит, because I had different explanation about karma yoga with past, like karma.
Karma, that is different. That is that karma means when you do a good thing, you have the reward. Then you have the bad thing, you will have the punishment. That is even though the word is karma, it is also the same word is used for that karma. But here karma yoga means karma yoga. That means our work, not that kind of karma.
Но вот Шри Бхагават говорит, что все-таки, в его интерпретации карма-йога это способ слиться с действием, быть с действием одним. То есть карма это действие. То есть быть в действии и it's like not doer. You just
doer will be there. Each and every time doer must be there. We cannot evade from doer. We cannot send away the doer. Doer will be always there. The doer must be related to the work. Not the doer should not be related to the emotion.
Doer, it is intellect. Doer.
Doer is not intellect. The doer is also a part of the emotion, but it is a combination of emotion and the intellect. But and it comes, but mainly if it is, you can make use of the doer with related to the work, so then the doer must be related to the intellect. So if the doer is related to the emotion, the doer is related to the emotion. So here, if you are dealing with the emotion, the doer may be considered along with the emotion. So the doer also must be neglected. We need not give concern, we need not give importance to the doer when it is related to the emotion. But at the same time, you may have the doer if it is related to the work.
But at the same time, if you say doer, this is partly intellect, partly emotions. Doer also illusory. It is in truly not existing doer. It is not real.
Not real. It is temporary. Each and every moment, doer.
Like everything, like emotion, like thoughts, like also doer. But you identify it with doer, but you know that doer is not you. It's just for make actions.
But actually, the doer alone is we are knowing only the doer alone. There is no other I am in spite about the moreover the doer. We cannot expect any self because the real self will not claim I am the doer. The real I am, the real doer, the real self will not claim himself to be a doer or somebody else. It will not claim to be some personality. So all personality belongs to the doer. So the doer alone has the personality that I am doing something, I am expecting something, I want something. So everything belongs to the doer. And the doer is also a kind of feeling. The doer is a kind of emotion. And it must be considered as an emotion. But at the same time, we can make use of the emotion as we can make use of the emotion to the external world. We can make use of the doer to the external world.
So as doer, I have to make some external actions, but I don't have to interfere to emotions.
No.
So just make external actions and don't interfere to emotional world.
So when it tries to interfere with the emotion, the doer is also emotion, the happiness or fear is also emotion. So there is a war between emotion and emotion. The emotion and emotion, there is a war.
Ну, в общем, Шри Бхагават говорит, что вот когда ты действуешь, то ты себя воспринимаешь как делателя. Но делатель — это тоже эмоция, это тоже иллюзорное. То есть ты как делатель, ты всегда акцентируешь свое внимание на действиях, на внешних действиях, но не на эмоциях. То есть ты действуешь, а все эмоции, которые происходят, ты, в общем, позволяешь им быть. Sometimes, Shri Bhagavat, when we have some emotions, like sadness, like sorrow, we cannot work. And it's like depression, condition of body. Body is like seeking, weakness, and how to make work in this state. Because, for example, if you are director, you have to control or something like call or have some, but you have big sadness and big depression like this, and you have no power for work. So what to do in this situation?
So here, somebody is asking what we have to do. The somebody is also the doer. It is also again another feeling, another emotion. So you have to give freedom also to this personality which is having inquire what we have to do. You have to give freedom to this also. So when there is no, when we give total freedom to the doer, then there is nobody to deal with the emotion. So everything will be put in the same category of emotion. And then naturally there will be settlement. But when we try to catch saturate the emotion or saturate the depression, then it will create more conflict.
Yes, and this time you can don't work external work because you have no power for work.
So here the doer must understand the doer alone wants to have some freedom from the depression. The doer wants the doer expects some freedom from the depression. So the doer also must be given freedom because the doer is not. It is also part of the emotion. The doer is not apart from the emotion. The doer itself is the part of the emotion. So he can be, the doer also can be considered as a part of the emotion. So we have to give, as we give freedom to the emotion, we have to give freedom to the doer also.
And in that case, it is changing soon. And you still can work
because
do something.
Then when we give total freedom to the doer, then there will be nobody to regulate yourself. Then there will be no, because your intellect is not serious enough to regulate anything, because the regulator himself was considered to be the emotion.
So work is not so important, external actions.
So
the most important.
So here, if you are psychologically okay, then only you can. Whenever you have the depression, you cannot go to the work. So you go. But at the same time, you have no work in the psychological world also. With related to the depression also, you have no work. Mm-hmm. And you have to. The main thing is that you have to be free psychologically. If you are psychologically free, then you can have the
decision
in the external world.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, understood.
Okay. You're saying go through the pain.
Go through the pain.
There is no other choice.
No other choice.
So you have to go through the pain. So once you go through, there is no choice, and there is no fight. We go through the pain and we come out easily. Going through the pain, naturally fight also will come. That fight is also natural, part of the pain. When pain comes, naturally fighting against pain also comes, and both happens simultaneously, and it also goes.
Both.
So we don't give any conscious contribution.
No.
That's it.
If you contribute consciously, that means we are giving encouragement to the fighter to fight.
Okay. So better go through the pain. Instead of trying to get out of the pain, better go through the pain. So only the intellect is convinced that there is no other method to get out of this pain, then only it will allow the pain to.
So only after many inquiry alone we can come to the conclusion that we have no work.
So it has to find that there is no other method, no other help available to get out of this pain. So we have to go through this tunnel of pain. Then only the intellect accepts the pain.
So whatever we do, it will aggravate the pain. So if you also understand, so all of it is a failure.
That is the conclusion after coming out. But for a seeker, you can't say that you will come out of the pain easy or like that. So for him there is no choice. So seeker has to go through the pain. So it is an understanding and it's a belief that it will.
But at the same time, we cannot give answer in one word.
But that is
he will not be satisfied. So we have to satisfy to a certain extent, and he himself will understand. He himself will come to the conclusion, I cannot go away from my pain. But we should not directly, to that extent, enjoy pain. We should not give like that.
Because all this logic somehow gives a conception that there is some method to get rid of the pain. All your explanations, some methods gives a picture. It's another methodology to get rid of the pain or to get into liberation. But that is not so. So you are saying there is no way to get out of the pain. So somebody, seeker comes and asks how to get out of the pain. You are saying that there is no way to get out of the pain.
If he says like this, you cannot get out of the pain, then the person who is seek to get out of the pain, you will seek some other person. So how can get out of the pain? Then you are not a correct person, so I cannot come to you. But I want to get out of the pain, and I will seek some other person or some other mother to get out of the pain.
So you are bringing him near that point. So he himself concludes this point.
He himself has to conclude.
Shri you accept concept about previous lives.
Except
Previous lives.
previous life.
Yeah. You accept this concept?
Yeah.
Because Advaita don't accept.
But unless we have the extrasensory perception, we cannot have the direct vision upon the previous birth. But when we have only the intellectual knowledge, our intellect logic may think that there may be previous birth, and there may be the chance. So it is a supposition. It may be like that.
It is just also one more concept, just concept.
But yeah, just like a concept, but even though it may be a concept, whether we rely upon the concept or not, that here what we have to do, we cannot rely upon the concept that the previous next birth is there, previous birth is there. But we can have the possibilities, it may be there. By examining many things, some happenings and some explanation given by many people. So, and we for ourselves, we can think there may be the chance of birth and rebirth is possible. But we cannot, if you have the direct vision, if you have the extrasensory perception, you may have the direct vision of your birth, of your previous birth or next birth. But when we do not have such a vision, you need not give more importance to that.
Yeah, because this is past, not existent.
Because it is the previous birth or after birth is not coming on their way. So what is on their way, that we can verify, that we can test. But here we cannot test the rebirth or previous birth.
Exactly. I asked it because I was in Thailand. In Thailand, so maybe I first time saw in Thailand lady boy. Man was born in like boy, but he felt he's like lady, like woman, and then make operation and change body and everything make like woman. And I thought maybe they were previous life woman and like consciousness didn't change in this body and still feel like woman. So
that is a rare happening. Everybody is not doing like that. Some person alone is like.
yes, small percent.
Small percent.
Yeah, but
here also there are many people in the spiritual world. There are many people have say experience. Many people have come away from the body. So the subtle body comes away from the physical body and get back into their own body. So it is a common experience. There are many people they are associated with me. They have many such kind of experiences. The subtle body comes away from the visible body, and then afterwards they come back.
It's clinical death. They had clinical death.
But the physical body is not going to the death, but it is also living but their experience is only outside the body. You will have the subtle body comes away from the body, and whatever comes away from the body alone have the experience. And when the subtle body comes away from the body, the physical body will not function. Even though it is not dead, it will not have any function. Only the subtle body alone have the function. So the scriptures also say the same thing. The physical body will go away and the subtle body will go to the next birth.
But this is don't consume to enlightenment.
That doesn't mean this is not enlightenment. This
don't
is not
consume to
no.
enlightenment.
No.
Don't consume for enlightenment. Is it possible to say, Shri Bhagavat, that what you say, don't do, don't interfere? It is also kind of practice, but last practice.
Practice. If you practice like this, practice that means we expect some result. So it is a struggle. So the understanding, it must be in the form of understanding. The understanding will operate. So we should not execute our understanding.
But you say, if you do unconsciously, you can do. But when you conscious, it's also a little bit similar like practice. Because before we had same practice, like if you unconsciously, but if you conscious, you don't do something. So what is different between practice and only understanding?
For example, in the dark place, we take something, just like as a rope, we take a rope in the dark place, we take a rope and we switch on the torch. What kind of rope is this? And we find this is not a rope, it is a snake.
Snake.
It is a snake. The very moment of understanding, we will drop the snake. We will not try to drop.
Yeah.
The dropping happens. So when we understand we have no work, then the dropping happens happening. But unconsciously we may take. But we will not drop. We will not consciously drop. The dropping will happen. We will not try to drop. The dropping will happen. So we will not try. We need not try. So we are taken unconsciously. It is a good one thing. And when we think it is not good, then the very moment when of your understanding, you did not execute
with
your
effort. With effort.
Without effort, the dropping will be there. It is happening.
Because my intellect long time made some practices, and also sometimes I found that it tries to make practice from your teaching also.
Practice to do what?
And not interfere, but like make like practice.
Not the interference is an interference. It is a kind of interference.
Yeah. So.
If you do it, it is an interference.
Yeah, but this year I really feel subtle. It's like you say, it's just happening. Like, because this is intellect always knows. Like, if you wake up and weakness, for example, intellect knows that you have to be like. But now it's like just understanding and like let it be, and
so
very, very subtle.
So if you practice this understanding, it will become yoga. This is a kind of different kind of yoga. So yoga means you are giving some effort. Through yoga means you are executing something, you are practicing something. What you do through some practice, it may be helpful, but it is a kind of yoga.
Yes, I really understand your way through understanding.
Yeah.
It's the main understanding. It's really, really different.
Understanding is
Yes.
You need not.
If you have understanding, it's working.
It will work.
itself.
It will work naturally.
Yeah.
We need not try to work. We will not work according to our understanding.
Yeah.
So understanding itself will work.
Yeah. Understanding is working. Yeah. Because you said that understanding, like process, it is really easy. But we have a lot of but. And for help people to get this understanding, if for example, it's obvious everybody has some special feelings which doesn't like. For example, weakness, sorrow, fears, like, and make like a practice to accept these feelings. Is it possible to make like preparation?
So when we have the practice, all practice is only a preparation. It is not the end.
Not only this. Every practice is preparation.
Preparation. It may be good preparation, but it is not the end. But understanding alone is the end.
How would you recommend? Because I said Shibagata already that my work is connected with people who really not ready for understanding at the psychologist level or something like this. So need to explain still this level for people, even they don't ready, but already begin to explain this level with making practice. So don't say don't make practice. No, you make practice, but parallel explain also the practice. It's just need for preparation for final step.
But we need not recommend practice, but at the same time, if they do practice, we need not discourage practice. But at the same time, we should not recommend practice.
Because it's contradiction.
But if he himself do some practice, and we may not discourage practice. But at the same time, we should not recommend practice. You have to do practice. We should not give him practice. We should not allow that you have to do like this, you have to practice like this. We should not say like that.
Also, don't you think that there are people who are not ready for the understanding, and some people are maybe ready?
So but this is actually, this understanding is actually closing everything, because we do something for this for some demand, but here we are closing everything, including our demand itself. So this is the final step, and before that you have to have some preparation, and everybody works something with some demand. So demand is a necessary in any progress, and if you have some demand, then you have to encourage your demand, and you have to encourage some work, and afterwards you do all the work, you find no work is remaining. You have done every work, but you cannot, you feel you cannot go further, you cannot free from everything. So then only, if you understand this matter, then it will be very easy. You can very easily grasp this understanding. Otherwise, if you directly, if you are a beginner, it is not easy for him to understand this concept. But at the same time, if he is in he may have some problem in his own life. some sorrow and suffering, he may be in great pain, but he will not have any knowledge about the spiritual world, he will not have any practice, meditation, he will not have anything. But at the same time, he have a pressing problem, some sorrow of death or anything, some disease or some problem in their domestic world. He may have some pressing problem. So they cannot rectify this sorrow. So if he is in the pressing problem, our understanding will work. Because here also what we are suggesting, you have to accept the pain. So we have no other go except to accept the pain, accept the psychological happening. So when we wholeheartedly accept the psychological happening, the next thing will happen. So some preparatory stage is there. But if it is the ordinary person, he must have a pain, some problem. But in the spiritual world, if he must have, he will know, he need not have any such a pressing problem. But at the same time, he must have completed all the practices, and he feel that even though many practices have been done, proper result has not found. So he is in a desperate condition. So this is the time for to understanding this problem, this aspect.
Yeah, I see it like that, because also I think if I would have come here some years ago, I would have gone immediately. I would not even relate to it. Should just think, oh, this is not for me, I don't understand it. Now I think at least I can somehow relate to it. Don't know if I understand it fully, but my question in mind was just if someone comes to you and he's a beginner, then you still don't give a practice. You just
for the beginners, practice is a must. You must have some practice. For the beginners, you have to do some practice. Otherwise, you will not have any hold here. So you must have gone through practice. But practice is not a must. If he is capable, if he is serious enough to understand the reality, the seriousness is enough. If you are serious, and if he is interested in practice, some 1 or 2 months or 1 year itself enough. Afterwards, for years together, he will not practice. Within 1 year, we can finish his practice within 1 year. And afterwards, he can understand something through his practice. The practice will not help him. And he can come to the conclusion that he have to go beyond practice. So then when he becomes very serious, they can easily understand this.